Learn to keep your mouth shut. Imagine how different your life would be if you spoke less, but people respected you more. If you stopped explaining yourself, yet people trusted your decisions even deeper. If you stopped reacting, yet people suddenly felt your presence when you walked into a room. Here is a truth most people learn too late. The people who talk the most often hold the least power, and the people who speak the least are usually the ones everyone listens to. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not shyness. Silence is not fear. Silence is power. Today, you're going to learn how mastering your mouth can transform your relationships, your confidence, your emotional control, and the way the world responds to you. By the end of this video, you will understand why the most respected and emotionally intelligent people develop one life-changing habit. They learn when to keep their mouth shut. And if you enjoy deep psychology, self-mastery and powerful life lessons like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos designed to help you become calmer, wiser and more powerful. Most people don't talk because they have something important to say. They talk because they feel uncomfortable with silence. Silence makes people feel awkward, exposed, anxious and sure of themselves. So they fill the silence with oversharing, explaining, complaining, defending, gossiping, reacting, and they don't even realize what it's costing them. Because every time you talk too much, you unknowingly give away your mystery, your emotional control, your confidence, your power. And here's the painful truth. The more you explain yourself, the less people respect you. The more you defend yourself, the more guilty you appear. The more you react emotionally, the easier you are to control. This is why emotionally intelligent people develop a powerful habit. They pause before they speak. They observe before they react. They think before they answer. And sometimes, they say nothing at all. Silence creates mystery. Human beings are naturally curious. When something is easy to understand, we stop paying attention to it. But when something is difficult to read, difficult to predict, and difficult to figure out, our minds become fascinated. When you talk too much, people feel like they already know you. There is nothing left to discover, nothing left to wonder about, nothing left to imagine. But when you speak less, everything changes. You become interesting, you become intriguing, you become difficult to read, and people are deeply attracted to what they cannot fully understand. Think about any room you've ever walked into. The loudest person may get attention for a moment, but the quiet person always gets curiosity. People start asking questions in their minds. What are they thinking? Why are they so calm? What do they know that we don't? Silence creates psychological tension, and tension creates attention. That is power. Oversharing quietly destroys respect. Many people believe talking openly about everything makes them more relatable, more liked, more accepted. But the truth is more complicated. Oversharing signals a lack of boundaries. When someone reveals every detail of their life to everyone around them, people subconsciously begin to feel that this person does not value privacy, does not protect their inner world, and does not guard their personal space. And people do not respect what has no boundaries. Not everyone who listens cares. And not everyone who cares deserves access to everything about you. Your plans are not public announcements. Your struggles are not entertainment. Your dreams are not group discussions. One of the fastest ways to destroy a goal is to talk about it too early and too often. Every time you speak about a plan, your brain feels like you've already made progress. You receive social approval without doing the work. And slowly, the motivation disappears. Silence protects your goals until they are strong enough to survive the world. Talking is emotional leaking. Imagine your emotional energy as a battery that must last the entire day. Every conversation, every argument, every explanation and every reaction uses a small piece of that battery. Now imagine how much energy is lost through unnecessary talking, explaining yourself repeatedly, defending decisions to people who never supported you, reacting to criticism that was never meant to help you. arguing with people who already decided not to understand you. By the end of the day, you feel exhausted, overwhelmed and drained. Not because life is too difficult, but because your energy has been leaking through your mouth. Silence protects energy. Silence protects peace. Silence protects focus. And the most dangerous thing you can give someone who wants to upset you is your emotional reaction. Because once someone can control your emotions, they can control you. Powerful people master their reactions. Weak people react instantly. Strong people respond slowly. Powerful people sometimes don't respond at all. Silence forces people to sit with their own words. Silence makes insults sound foolish. Silence makes drama lose oxygen. Silence makes manipulators uncomfortable. Manipulators survive on reactions. They provoke. They push. They test boundaries. And they wait for emotional responses. When you refuse to react, you remove their power source. Suddenly, their words fall into empty space. Suddenly, their strategies stop working. Suddenly, they realize they cannot control you. And nothing frustrates a manipulator more than someone who refuses to react. Silence in arguments is a superpower. Most arguments are not about truth. They are about ego, about winning, about proving a point, about being right. When two people argue, they stop listening. They stop understanding. They stop caring about the truth. They only care about defending their position. And the louder the argument becomes, the further both people move from resolution. But silence changes the entire dynamic. When you pause before responding, you break the rhythm of the conflict. You remove fuel from the fire. You create space for the emotional storm to pass. Silence does not mean surrender. Silence means control. When you refuse to engage in unnecessary conflict, you are not losing. You are protecting your peace. Not every opinion deserves a response. Not every accusation deserves a defense. Not every misunderstanding deserves an explanation. Some battles become victories the moment you refuse to fight them. Silence strengthens confidence. Many people believe confident individuals speak more. In reality, true confidence often speaks less. When someone is insecure, they feel a constant need to prove themselves. They explain their decisions. They justify their choices. They defend their actions. They seek approval through words. But a confident person does not feel this pressure. They trust their decisions. They trust their judgment. They trust their path. And because of that trust, they do not feel the need to constantly explain themselves to the world. Confidence is quiet. It does not beg for attention. It does not chase validation. It does not panic in silence. It stands calmly, knowing that actions will speak louder than words ever could. The psychology of quiet people. Quiet people are often misunderstood. Many assume silence means shyness, weakness, or lack of intelligence. But research in psychology tells a different story. People who speak less tend to observe more. They process more information before responding. They think deeply about consequences. They listen carefully before forming opinions. In conversations, most people listen only to reply. Quiet people listen to understand. This difference changes everything. When you listen more than you speak, people feel heard. They feel valued. They feel understood. And as a result, they begin to trust you more. Ironically, speaking less often makes people value your words more when you finally choose to speak. We will continue into the next sections. Silence in relationships. Silence and respect. When to speak versus when not to speak. Strategic silence in everyday life. Silence in relationships is deeply misunderstood. Many people believe love means constant communication, constant reassurance, constant talking. And yes, communication is important, but endless talking is not the same as healthy communication. In fact, too much talking can quietly damage relationships. When emotions are high, words become dangerous. People say things they don't mean. They exaggerate. They accuse. They react from pain instead of clarity. And once words are spoken, They cannot be taken back. Silence gives emotions time to settle. When you pause instead of reacting, you give yourself the chance to respond with intention instead of emotion. You prevent small disagreements from becoming permanent scars. Not every uncomfortable moment in a relationship needs immediate discussion. Some moments need space. Some feelings need time. Some conversations need calm. Silence is not distance. Silence can be emotional maturity. Silence makes your presence stronger. Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and immediately command attention without saying a word? It isn't because they are louder. It isn't because they are trying harder. It's because their energy feels calm and controlled. When someone talks constantly, their presence becomes background noise. But when someone speaks selectively, every word feels intentional. Their words feel heavier. Their opinions feel more valuable. Their voice feels more respected, because people instinctively believe this. If someone speaks rarely, what they say must matter. Silence protects your dignity. There will be moments in life when people misunderstand you, judge you, criticize you, gossip about you, accuse you of things that are not true. Your instinct will be to defend yourself, to explain, to correct the story. But here is a difficult truth. Not everyone is committed to understanding you. Some people are committed to misunderstanding you, and no amount of explanation will change their minds. When you constantly defend yourself against false opinions, you give those opinions importance. You give them energy. You give them attention. Sometimes dignity is choosing not to participate in conversations that were never meant to be fair. Silence does not mean the accusation is true. Silence means you refuse to lower yourself into unnecessary battles. When to speak and when to stay silent. Silence is powerful, but silence must be used wisely. Knowing when to speak is just as important as knowing when not to speak. When you must set boundaries. You must stand up for yourself. You must protect someone. You must communicate truth with calm intention. Stay silent when emotions are high. The other person is not listening. The conversation is pointless. The goal is to provoke you. The argument has no solution. Not every moment deserves your voice. Some moments deserve your peace. Strategic silence in everyday life. Imagine how your daily life would change if you stopped reacting to every small thing. No unnecessary arguments. No impulsive replies. No emotional texting. No defending every decision. No explaining your life to people who never asked. Your days would feel lighter. Your mind would feel clearer. Your emotions would feel calmer. Strategic silence creates mental space. And in that space, clarity grows. You start thinking before speaking. You start choosing your words carefully. You start responding instead of reacting. And slowly, your life becomes quieter, calmer and more controlled. Silence makes people reveal themselves. This is one of the most powerful psychological truths. When you stop filling every silence, people begin to talk more. They reveal their thoughts, their intentions, their insecurities and their true personalities. People are uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill it, and in doing so, they show you who they really are. The more you listen, the more you learn, the more you observe, the more you understand. Silence turns you into a powerful observer of human behavior. And the more you understand people, the less easily you are controlled by them. Why silence feels uncomfortable at first. Learning to speak less is not easy. At first, silence feels awkward. Your mind tells you to fill the space, to say something, to avoid the discomfort. But discomfort is part of growth. Every new habit feels unnatural at the beginning. Every powerful skill feels uncomfortable before it feels natural. The first time you choose silence instead of reaction, it will feel strange. The second time, it will feel easier. Over time, it will feel natural. And eventually, silence will feel like strength. We still have powerful sections coming. Silence and self-respect. The danger of explaining yourself too much. How silence builds personal power. Final closing message and call to action. Silence is a form of self-respect. When you constantly explain yourself to everyone, you quietly send a message. I need your approval to feel secure. But when you choose your words carefully and speak only when necessary, you send a different message. I trust my decisions. I trust my path. Self-respect is not loud. Self-respect is not defensive. Self-respect is calm. You do not need to justify your growth. You do not need to justify your boundaries. You do not need to justify your choices to people who never lived your life. Silence becomes the shield that protects your self-respect. The danger of explaining yourself too much. Many people feel a deep urge to explain their actions, their decisions, and their boundaries. They fear being misunderstood. They fear disappointing others. They fear being judged. So they over-explain. They add long justifications. They soften their boundaries. They try to make everyone comfortable. But something unexpected happens. The more you explain, the more people question your confidence. Because confident decisions do not require long speeches. A simple sentence often carries more authority than a long explanation. I can't make it. I've decided to focus on something else. That doesn't work for me. Clear, calm, final. When you explain too much, people start looking for weaknesses in your reasoning. They search for ways to change your mind. They feel invited to negotiate your boundaries. Short answers create strong boundaries. Silence builds personal power. Power is not about controlling others. Power is about controlling yourself. The ability to remain calm when others are emotional. The ability to stay quiet when others are reactive. The ability to observe when others are impulsive. This kind of self-control creates a quiet confidence that people can feel. When you stop reacting to everything, you become emotionally unpredictable. And emotional unpredictability creates respect. People stop trying to provoke you. People stop trying to manipulate you. People start choosing their words more carefully around you. Because they realize something important. You cannot be easily shaken. Silence improves decision making. When your life is full of noise, your thoughts become unclear. Constant conversations, constant opinions, constant advice, constant social pressure, all of it creates mental clutter. Silence gives your mind space to think. When you stop discussing every idea with everyone, you begin to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You begin to trust your intuition. You begin to make decisions based on reflection instead of pressure. Silence creates clarity. Clarity creates confidence. Confidence creates better decisions. Silence helps you outgrow people peacefully. Not everyone is meant to grow with you. Some relationships belong to a different chapter of your life. When people grow apart, they often try to force explanations, arguments and dramatic endings. But growth does not always need conflict. Sometimes growth looks like fewer conversations, fewer reactions, fewer shared details, more distance, more peace. Silence can be a gentle way of closing doors without creating unnecessary drama. Not every ending needs a long conversation. Some endings need quiet acceptance. The moment silence becomes your strength, there comes a moment when you notice a change. You stop feeling the urge to reply instantly. You stop feeling the need to explain everything. You stop reacting to every comment. You stop defending every decision. And suddenly, life feels lighter. You realize how much energy you once wasted on unnecessary words. You realize how much peace exists in quiet moments. You realize how powerful calmness truly is. This is the moment silence transforms from discomfort into strength. Speak less. Observe more. Feel calmer. Imagine waking up without the pressure to respond to every message immediately. Imagine going through your day without the need to explain every decision. Imagine protecting your peace instead of defending your life. Your mind becomes quieter. Your emotions become steadier. Your energy becomes focused. Silence is not about shutting the world out. It is about choosing what deserves access to your voice. As you move forward, remember this simple truth. Not every thought must be spoken. Not every opinion must be shared. Not every reaction must be expressed. Sometimes the strongest response is no response. If this message resonated with you and you want more videos that help you become calmer, wiser and more emotionally powerful, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the next video. Your journey toward self-mastery is just beginning. Let's go deeper into the hidden advantages of silence that most people never realize. Silence improves your listening skills. Real listening is rare. Most conversations are simply two people waiting for their turn to speak. While one person talks, the other is already preparing a reply, forming an opinion, or planning a story to tell next. But when you intentionally speak less, you create space to truly listen. You begin to hear what people are actually saying instead of what you assume they mean. You notice tone, emotion, hesitation and intention. You notice the pauses between words and the feelings behind sentences. And something powerful happens when people feel truly heard. They trust you more. They open up more. They respect you more. Because being heard is one of the deepest emotional needs every human has. Ironically, the less you talk, the more people enjoy talking to you. Silence filters your friendships. When you stop oversharing and stop reacting to everything, some people will drift away. At first, this can feel confusing or even painful, but this is not loss. This is clarity. Some people are only attracted to noise, drama and constant attention. When the noise disappears, they lose interest. When the drama fades, they move on. When the attention stops, they search for someone new. And that is okay. Silence reveals who values your presence and who only valued your reactions. The people who remain are the ones who appreciate calm, depth and authenticity. Silence strengthens emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand emotions without being controlled by them. When you speak less, you give yourself time to process emotions before expressing them. Instead of reacting instantly, you feel the emotion, understand it and choose how to respond. This short pause changes everything. It turns anger into patience. It turns frustration into clarity. It turns impulsive reactions into thoughtful responses. Silence creates the space where emotional intelligence grows. Silence protects you from regret. Think about the last time you said something you wished you could take back. Words spoken in anger. Words spoken in frustration. Words spoken in pain. Once spoken, words cannot be erased. They cannot be unsaid. They leave a mark. Many regrets in life are not about actions. They are about words. Silence gives you time to reconsider. Time to breathe. Time to decide whether those words truly need to exist. Often, after a few minutes of silence, you realize they don't, and the problems that could have lasted months disappear in minutes. Silence gives your words weight. When someone speaks constantly, their words lose value. They become background noise. People stop listening carefully because they assume more words are always coming. But when someone speaks selectively, everything changes. When they speak, people listen. When they share an opinion, people consider it. When they give advice, people respect it. Because rare words feel valuable, your voice becomes stronger when it is not constantly used. Silence and personal growth. Growth requires reflection. Reflection requires quiet. If your life is filled with constant noise, conversations and distractions, your mind never gets the chance to slow down and evaluate your path. Silence creates reflection. Reflection creates awareness. Awareness creates growth. In silence, you begin to notice your habits, your patterns and your direction in life. You begin to understand what needs to change and what needs to stay. Without silence, growth becomes difficult. With silence, growth becomes inevitable. Silence is not about becoming distant or cold. It is about becoming intentional. You still laugh. You still connect. You still communicate. But your words become purposeful instead of automatic. You stop speaking to fill space. You start speaking to create meaning. And that simple shift changes how people experience you. A quiet life is not an empty life. It is a peaceful life. It is a life where your energy is protected, your thoughts are clear and your emotions are steady. It is a life where your voice is used wisely and your silence is respected. And in a world full of noise, calm becomes rare. Rare becomes valuable. Valuable becomes powerful. If this message helped you see silence differently, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos designed to help you grow. Think deeper and live calmer. More powerful lessons are coming soon.